Late nights, I feel my heartbeat racing slow in candlelight. Words unspoken, feelings hidden, shadows dance until the morning light. When you say you need me, I'm holding on tight. All these doubts inside me fading out of sight. In this moment, nothing else feels right. You're probably right, yeah, you're probably right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's MCM, and this is You're Probably Right podcast. Today, I'm going to jump right in it. I just want to say, first of all, I appreciate all my listeners, everyone who tunes in, everyone who shares, everyone who follows, wherever you see anything that has anything to do with the show. Remember, this is not a Christian podcast, but it is a podcast by a Christian. I will not be in here swearing or making you have to get people out of your presence because of what I'm about to say. There shouldn't be anything like that, but today is going to be a touchy one. You better believe it. I think you stopped in at the right time, so don't you go nowhere. Or if you got to go somewhere, come back. Check it out. I want to talk to you about a topic that gets people heated very fast. Cheating. And I want to talk about it from a male perspective without hiding behind cliche. I also got to tell you guys, I've decided to have a little coffee this time, so I'm going to do my best to turn so you don't have to hear it. Okay. Now, what would cause a person to all of a sudden laugh like that when they said what they said? Of course, I poured the coffee on my stomach. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's all right. Check it out. Not all men are dogs. Not all women are angels. People, well, they're complicated. Desire is complicated. Disappointment is complicated. And when you mix silence with unmet needs, you get predictable outcomes that still hurt like fire. Let me set a frame. I'm not here to excuse betrayal. Cheating, well, we know it breaks trust. It places a wound inside of the relationship that takes time and consistent care to even think about healing. I'm here to describe how it happens to men who do not see themselves as cheaters, why it can happen even in relationships that look good from the outside, and why the shift in intimacy after commitment can feel like a bait and switch to a lot of men. Bait and switch? Yeah. If you understand the mechanics, you can stop the cycle. Let's see. The first idea, once a cheater, always a cheater. Sounds neat, right? It's not always true. Some men repeat the pattern, others do not. Whether a man repeats it depends on what he does after the breach in the first place. Does he face himself? Does he take responsibility? Does he repair what he's broken inside of him and inside of the situation? Does he learn to speak needs out loud instead of acting them out in secret? If he owns it and changes, he is not the same man who cheated. If he blames and mimics, the risk stays. Something tells me you probably heard that. The second idea. When do men cheat? When they say they love their partners, or why do they cheat when they say they love their partners? There are several doors that lead there. Sometimes it starts with unmet needs that are never spoken clearly. A man feels lonely in his own house. He feels dismissed. He feels disrespected. Or maybe he's loved but like a teddy bear or a favorite pair of old shoes. We're starved for touch. He stops asking because asking brings conflict. So he goes quiet. Then an opportunity arises, literally. A message, a work trip, a late night day at work. And he chooses the easy relief over the hard conversation. Sometimes it's not planned at all. It is a weak moment combined with right conditions. Sometimes it's about thrill, a man who has given his life to being steady, wants to feel alive and new again, and that he matters, and he wants to be found attractive as well. Not because his partner's worthless, but because he has lost touch with a part of himself, and it's not all his fault. None of these are justifications, they are pathways. If you can name the pathway, you can close the door. One second. The third idea, the intimacy bait and switch. A lot of men will say this is out loud. A lot of men won't say this out loud, but they'll say it in private. While dating, the sexual energy is high. The pursuit is alive. The effort is constant, even if it's not consummated until after marriage. After commitment, especially after cohabitation, like marriage, kids, stress, the energy changes. Some drop from blazing flames to a small little pilot light. For many couples, this is normal. For some couples, it's becoming a point of real pain. The man remembers how it used to be and wonders why the person who once could not get enough of him is now rarely in the mood or only on narrow terms. Narrow. He experiences that change as a loss, sometimes as a broken promise, even if no promise was actually made in reality. There are reasons for this shift. Infatuation cools, responsibilities pile up, bodies change, hormones shift, stress climbs. Some women feel safer to say no inside of commitment. Some feel less free to express the sexual side that felt easy during scandalous casual romance or whatever. Some carry trauma. Some never actually liked the act they performed early on and were pushing themselves to bond. None of these makes her the villain. However, the shift is real, and if the couples never talk about it, resentment shall be growing. Now let us talk about the mismatched desire. Every couple has a gap. You realize that, right? Between between what each person wants. The gap is small. You negotiate it. You negotiate, and it works. It's just twisted in so many different ways, guys. I'm sorry. Oh man, when the gap is when the gap is large, it's kind of funny you write these things out, but you don't really you don't really speak them out loud. And then you hear them, you saying what you wrote. It's kind of wild. Anyway, I'm gonna try to continue. When the gap is large, you get a dead bedroom. On one side, a hungry heart. On the other, wait, sorry. When the gap is large, you get a dead bedroom on one side and a hungry heart on the other. There you go. The hungry heart does not always cheat, but it does not forget. Be sure. If a man feels he needs to beg for touch, if he feels like a burden for wanting his own partner, he's not cheating. He's in front of his woman. He starts feeling small. There's no way around it, no matter how big he is. Small turns into shame. Shame turns into anger. Anger turns into distance. And distance is the soil where affairs grow. The same pattern can hit women too. A woman who is ignored or taken for granted can find herself leaning into the attention of someone who's not her partner, someone who's been hanging around, one of those guy friends that no guy likes. Again, not an excuse, just a map. I want to speak to the situation that burns many men. She openly did certain things with past partners, and now she refuses them with her husband, her man. He does not need the whole internet to tell him why that hurts. He feels like the man who put in long-term investment, hard work, sweat of his brow and all that, but is denied the open door that strangers once walked through, skipped down the hallway. The logic behind her changes may be complex. Maybe she felt safer being uninhibited when the connection was casual and the person meant nothing. No man can swallow that pill very easily, no matter what they say. Maybe she now holds certain acts as off limits with her role as a wife and a mother. There's some connect there. Maybe there are negative memories attached that she never voiced. But the feeling in him is simple. He wants to be the man who gets all of his woman. Not the man who received the edited edition. If the couple cannot talk about this without shame or attack, guess what? You stay stuck. No way around that, period. Let us flip the camera for a moment. Men must tell the truth about their own part. Some men stop courting after commitment. They stop being tender. They stop planning moments. They stop listening. They stop listening. They stop listening. Listen. They expect the sexual energy of the early days to continue while they contribute less and less presence and less kindness and less effort. Desire does not live on duty alone. There are things that cause this to happen. If you want enthusiasm, you need to give safety, attention, and fun. You cannot treat your partner like a roommate and then be surprised that the bedroom feels cold and lame and brotherly, sisterly, like cousinly, like I don't know. Many men also avoid hard conversations because they fear rejection. Avoidance buys short-term peace and long-term resentment. Speak now or you will act it out later. Now, the question that gets asked every time, can a relationship recover from cheating? Yes, with honesty, with time and structure, some do. The person who strayed needs to accept their partner gets the right to feel what they feel and how they feel. Ask what they need to ask and take the time they need to take. The injured partner needs to decide if they want to rebuild, not out of fear, not out of some kind of weird revenge, but out of genuine desire to create a new relationship with the actual same person who just or did cheat. Sorry. Both need agreements about transparency, boundaries, and intimacy. Activity. Recovery is not a quick apology and dinner. Recovery is months of consistent behavior and mutual growth. Some couples become stronger, others don't. Either way, both individuals can become wiser. Let me talk directly to men who have cheated once or twice, and to men who are on the edge, just about there. If you cheated and you're ashamed, use that shame as a signal, not as a sentence. Tell the truth, do the work, return to integrity. If you are on the edge right now, I need you to slow down. Ask yourself, what are you seeking? Is it validation? Is it novelty? Is it escape? Is it revenge? Is it loneliness? Is it a need you have been hiding? Write it down. Bring it to your partner. If the relationship is safe for honest talk, if it's not safe, make a plan for a clean exit. Do not burn the house down on your way out. Man up. But try to communicate first, for sure. No matter what, communicate. Communicate everything you need to get out, everything you need to say. And the funny thing is, sometimes when you communicate those things, you realize that what you want isn't even half as much as your heart had you believing, from pain, from disrespect, from boredom possibly, from rejection. Let me talk directly to women who feel the bait and switch accusation is unfair. It may be unfair in your case. You may be exhausted. You may have pain. You may have felt disrespected for years. You may have begged for emotional presence and received excuses. You may have pulled back because you did not feel cherished, loved. Your story matters. At the same time, understand how men read intimacy. To many men, sexual openness is not a hobby. It is his language of love. When it shuts down, they feel rejected as a person, not just as a body. When a man gives himself to you, he's giving himself to you. If you turn it away or if he's there to play, well, hey. But if he's not there to play and he's there to stay, you got to meet him halfway. If you can keep curiosity alive, if you can talk about what is truly on or off the table without slamming or shaming each other, the relationship breathes again. All you have to do is be willing to do your part. What do most men actually want, you say? It's simpler than people think. One woman can be more than enough for one man when she is fully in, emotionally and physically. And when he is fully in, protective and present, men want to feel respected, desired, trusted, desired. They want a partner who laughs with them, builds them up, prays with them, prays for them, and who keeps the private life fun and private. They do not need a circus. They need honesty, enthusiasm. On the other side, women want to feel secure, seen, and chosen. They want a man who courts them after their ring, after they're bonded, after it's happened, who listens, who listens, who listens. Listen. Who does not hide behind silence, who carries his share of the load when both needs are met consistently. Cheating loses all its power. Let me lay out practical pathways for couples who want to prevent the slide. 1, tell the truth about desire. Not in a blaming way, in a clear way. How often, without taking shots, just how often, what matters, what is off limits, and why. Now, the limits, some would say, shouldn't be there. I'm one of those people. I believe that the marriage bed is undefiled, and I believe that a husband and wife can do anything they want. And each owns the other's body in a loving marriage. What is a maybe if safety is right? Obviously safety is paramount, right? Maybe make a list together. Trade, not in a transactional way, but there has to be some give and take, right? Anyhow, To return to courtship, small surprises, considered touch, planned connection, shared novelty, new experiences, build new chemistry. If you want different, guess what? You got to do different. Not going to say be different. You just got to do different because the person's important. 3, set boundaries with opportunities. Don't just make cuts and make walls. You understand? Maybe there's opportunity for something else if you literally, can't or whatever. Personally, I know that as a human being, if I can make it happen, even if I have to go through some discomfort, that's me. I'm going to do it. Some people aren't like that. And maybe they were like that in the past for someone else. And maybe those are questions you have to ask yourself. If travel, late nights, and secret messages are part of the world, I don't know, create rules that protect both of you, You protect what you value, of course. You spend time with those who you care about. You spend the time with those you want to be with, period. Treat the relationship like, it's worth guarding again. When was the last time you were jealous? A little bit. In a normal way, of course. What's normal? 4, deal with resentment on sight. Resentment is wet concrete. It sticks to everything. And everything that pushes into it shapes it. And when it is left for a long time, it gets hard. It's just there. Weekly check-ins, not interrogations, just honest state of the union kind of talk, 5, keep identity alive. You cannot pour from an empty self. Friendship, health, purpose, faith. If that is your path, these protect you from chasing cheap highs, cheap thrills. 6, if there has been betrayal, get some help. I always say consider a Christian counselor. Or if you are able to actually talk and reason amongst yourself, then nothing's better than the reason and structure of the Bible. Hold on a second. Anyhow, y'all, listen. Do not try to rebuild trust with wishful thinking. Agreements, timelines, transparency, compassion, and consistent action is what it needs. I want to close with this. The story most men never say out loud is simple. I will give you my whole life if I feel like you are giving me your whole life as well, in your whole self. Except that, of course, that is to the Lord. If I feel like I got the edited version while strangers got the director's cut, I will hurt, and that hurt will make me stupid, of course, if I let it. That is the moment to pause and speak up, not the moment to go looking for relief in some weird secrecy area. On the other side, the story many women never say out loud is also simple. I will want you more when I feel safe, respected, emotionally met. If I feel alone in the house with you, I will shut down, and that shutdown will make me cold if I let it. That is the moment to ask for repair, not the moment to punish in silence. But again, I say to you, if you are a Christian or you a believer of the Word of God, you have to understand that in a marriage now, not a relationship, not a situationship, not girlfriend, boyfriend, in a marriage, all bets are off, everything is open, they are yours, you are theirs, period. Period. Cheating is not a random lightning strike. It's something that was festering and building over time. When two people stop being honest and stop being generous, and it may never have, maybe it's just been regressing from the start. The good news is that honesty and generosity are choices, and you can switch that at any time. You can make that change honestly today. If you're listening and you've been betrayed, you are not foolish for trusting, and you are not weak for hurting. If you've been the betrayer, you are not beyond redemption. You are not beyond help. And you are not defined forever by something that you did that was the worst 10 minutes of your life. Or whatever. If you are a couple on the edge, speak, listen, and choose. If you are single and taking notes, select for someone who wants to grow, who can talk about intimacy with shame, who respects boundaries and who keeps showing up after the honeymoon glow. Real love is not about pretending you will never be tempted. Real love is about building the kind of connection and daily practice that makes temptation look small next to what you already have. Anyway, this is the male perspective, although I did try to bounce from side to side a little bit. Anyhow, I always try to be clear, try to be accountable to what I say and straight up. So anyhow, y'all, let us all do better with what we know. Anyhow, you're listening to MCM, and you're listening, of course, to You're Probably Right. Take care, y'all. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 dogs. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while, understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.